Welcome back. Going into the second half here of Drop Frames. I missed one important news story, Zeke. This is for you.
Uh-oh.
Did you hear about what
Okay.
happened in the Italian Senate?
This sounds like a joke. No, I did not.
No, it's very serious.
Oh,
They
yeah,
went to
okay.
show a
All right.
video in the Italian Senate this past week.
But before we talk about it, do you have a clip? Maybe you can show the stream?
Yeah, let me just pull up the clip. I could pull up the clip if you would like, but we'd all take a 3-day ban probably.
Okay.
Went to play a video. I don't know what the Senate meeting was supposed to be about, but what played was a Rule 34 video of Tifa from Final Fantasy VII. Having a fun time is what we'll say. And potentially the best part.
I see why you wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, potentially the best part about the whole situation was that it didn't just show for like 1 second. They didn't know how to stop it. And so it played for about 30. They turned off the video portion of it. They didn't know how to stop the audio portion. That kept going for like another 30 and it was, yeah. Apparently the meeting was on data transparency, according to my chat. I don't know if that's a joke or if that's actually real, but I'll accept both. Yeah. Pretty good stuff.
Well, did she pull off her ultimate at least?
Did
you get her limit break?
I think a limit break definitely occurred in the video. The Polygon headline was Final Fantasy Rule 34 vid smut shocks at Italy. Surprising artist. The headlines are IGN wrote Final Fantasy pornography interrupts the Italian Senate meeting. Just insane stuff.
Surprising the artist, but no one else. No one else.
Yeah, no one else was surprised at all.
The Italians are they were so nonplussed about it. They're like, what is this?
Yeah. So yeah, the video's floating around on Twitter if you want to go check that out.
If you have an urge.
Yeah, if you have an urge. So pretty.
I'm gonna write something down that's unrelated.
Pretty stupid shit for that to occur, but hey, it happened, so we should probably cover it. Let's talk about games you guys have been playing. What's been going on with you? What do you want to talk about? You've been kind of bouncing around here. I think we're in the January drought, as the streamers say. But you've been playing some new games, some old games. A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
I've been all over the place, man. I have had I don't have droughts because I have a massive backlog of stuff that I've said I'm going to play or want to play, and this is definitely one of the times that I've been filling that in. So we've been doing Expedition Rome. We finished up our Deus Ex newer franchise playthrough. Did the Human Revolution Mankind Divided. That's all finished up. Just finished Prey 2017. That was awesome. Playing Project Zomboid for the first time, basically since it came out. I played that for a little bit when it came out, and I'm doing that in the evenings. We'll be starting up Elix 1 soon. And then also Shadow Warrior 1 and 2, because they leaked / hinted that Shadow Warrior 3 is actually going to be coming out March 1st, potentially.
Yeah.
So that's kind of huge, considering they have not announced that yet.
Yeah. What's that?
Can you start with Project Zomboid? Because I've seen that, like, people playing it all over the place, and I'm not hip to that game.
Yeah, so. Project Zomboid it's a survival game at heart, and it's been in development for a long time. I don't think it's actually out yet. I think it's still early access.
Oh,
but it is one of the more. It's like the Rim world of zombie survival games, where just so many crazy random things can happen, and there's tons and tons of interactions and things you can do. There's like a whole like progression the world goes through as you're playing through it. It is one of those games. It's very daunting to learn, but as you learn the basics, everything else just kind of like starts falling into place a little bit more. So I started up a playthrough 2 days ago in the evening. Played for about 2.5 hours, and then I played last night too for about an hour and a half, and I haven't died yet, which apparently is weird. I've almost died a bunch of times. I've been bitten by zombies, gotten infected, but not with the zombie infection. Accidentally left an oven on, woke up to the house on fire, ran out on fire. Still dealing with that. But it's been a lot of fun. It's been really cool learning. Chat's been very helpful, and yeah, it's been a thing. But I'm sure I will die tonight. I'm playing it tonight too, and I'm due to die any minute now.
Are there difficulty settings in the game?
It's a very sandbox game, so there
Ah,
are different maps and things you can do to make it more difficult. There's a lot of customization in terms of how you can run the world and what rules you use in it. So I think mine is relatively benign
okay.
overall. So yeah,
It looks like an old game, like
it
old,
does.
like
It looks it's kind of like how
20 years
RimWorld would look
old.
like an old game. It's similar. The graphics and
Yeah,
stuff it's been in development for a long time, first of all. But it's not a game it's not a game designed to look pretty. It's more designed to like function well and
sure.
quickly, and everything kind of works together. So it does look old. The graphics are by no means like that great, but everything kind of works, and the gameplay is really solid.
Is there like a
I would feel like it would get annoying. The shadows just constantly moving. Like I get the line of sight thing. I totally understand that. But just having it like be constantly changing as you're moving.
Because you're only looking where your character is, you start to kind of I admit when I watched the game, I kind of felt the same way, but when you start playing it, your eyes start naturally going wherever you can only see, so it becomes like less and less of an issue. But I agree, it looked the whole game looked a little weird to me before I played it. But it's actually a lot of fun. It's been really cool.
Are you gonna check out the multiplayer stuff? I know that's why it had somewhat of a bigger boom on Twitch the past month or so.
Maybe at some point. I honestly was expecting to be dead at multiple times at this rate. So I'm still kind of like figuring out what I'm going to do with that. I am starting up Elix most likely tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to play that in my cozy section, which is something I was kind of planning on doing. So I'm just kind of feeling it out right now.
Yeah. Do you
It's
know
not
like
1.0 yet, so it's the kind of thing I could return to later too.
that's true. That's true. Like I know one of the things I've watched friend of the show and frequent guest Strippin. He's been playing a lot of the multiplayer stuff, and they've like set up a base of operations, and they have like cars that caravans that they go out and like do whatever they want to do task wise, and then kind of circle back. Is there like base building, or do you just take over a building and then modify it so zombies can't get in type deal? Like how does that all work?
So there's absolutely base building. There's a huge amount of skill line, probably at 30 plus, from what I saw on the big list.
Okay.
And one of those is carpentry. So from what I understand,
Oh.
the way the game works is the world basically is ending whenever you start your game. And as time goes on, you start by just surviving. But eventually, like the power goes out, the water goes out, like all the things that I'm living off of right now, essentially in my game. Eventually that all that kind of disappears. And when that starts
Oh.
happening, you have to start like making your own situations, like setting up rain catchers, building walls, building farms, your own houses and stuff like that. You can see I'm in a lumberyard right now, tons of resources there. But no, the end game, from what I understand, is basically like rebuilding. Yeah,
Got it. How much of like what like this lumber right here? Could you walk over and just be like, I'm gonna pick up some of this lumber and put it in your inventory? Is that
absolutely.
okay? That's
You
how it
can go up and
works.
pick up planks, and you can carry that
Okay.
around. You do have a pretty stringent weight limit.
Yeah.
So, like, I would not be able to hold a lot of that stuff. But it's as you can. I think you can get better at carrying things. You can carry a high weight limit, but you just like risk injuries and things of that nature. But yeah, you can get cars eventually, and I'm assuming you can like load them up and things like that. So
Yeah.
there's different ways to get materials. Different areas.
Would you say there's much of a like scare factor in the game? Like, do the zombies
There
come
can
around
be.
corners and scare the shit out of you? Pop up out of nowhere?
Absolutely. If you go into a house that you can't see all the areas and you go in and there's a zombie like right next to you when it starts, there are crescendos. So like you'll open a door and a zombie will be there and it'll be like, like on
Oh,
a
like audio
violin kind of thing.
cues. Nice.
So yeah, there's definitely times when you run into a forest and you can barely see anyway. You come into a clearing, there's just like five zombies bearing down on you. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing.
They look like they're pretty like outrunnable though, right?
Um, yes, in most
Because I
cases,
saw
but your
you like
character does
get
get.
like go through like a dozen of them. I mean, you had a pretty wide gap, but they started chasing you, and then they kind of like fell off pretty quick.
The thing is they'll keep chasing you if you don't break line of sight. And also, your character, for lots of different reasons, can slow down. You can get exhausted. You can have injuries that
Okay,
slow you down. So there's all sorts of things that will make it untenable to just run around forever.
okay.
Yeah, makes sense.
Well,
Uh,
you mentioned the end game. What was the end game again? Like, was
The
it
end game is basically
like just
rebuilding.
survive as long as possible?
Yeah. There's not really like a goal. You can set your own goals, of course.
Okay.
But there's not really.
There's not like a
winning
rocket to the
scenario.
moon or anything.
No, we're not.
Okay.
We're not building the rocket to the moon.
Okay.
It's very much. Although I think there are some scenarios that you can pick that have like more predefined variables. The more common thing that I've seen is like just the sandbox mode.
Okay.
It says
Is
at the
there any
beginning. It's very big about this. It says at the beginning like this is the story of your death. This is how
Okay.
you die.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Is there any sort of like running story or anything like that, or is it like just completely up to you? Like little tidbits of information or anything lying around?
About which one? I dropped out at the beginning.
Oh, about
Like
story.
just yeah, like
Oh,
newspaper
story.
clippings
Story
or
and
like that kind of stuff. Yeah.
There's little bits. There are like TV shows that can give you a little bit of hint about what's going on and things like that. But it is by no means a lore game. There's like little tiny things here and there, but the game is very much based on surviving. Yeah.
Makes sense. $20 seems like a good price. Buy-in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Seems like there's
If you like this kind of
hours
game,
of
you can
content.
get hours and hours and hours and hours out of this game. Absolutely. Absolutely.
One other thing, are there any like boss fights, like that kind of thing?
Haven't seen any.
Okay.
I've not seen any.
There's not like super zombies or anything.
Yeah, keep in mind I've played like 4 hours, and this is a game that you can have 100 to multi-100 hour just single runs, let alone dying a bunch.
Sure.
So I definitely have not seen a lot of it, but everything I've seen so far has basically been the same kind of zombie.
Nice. Yeah. Velrun in chat says Day 9 started a Zomboid game where he apparently spent 15 minutes on character creation and then died 3 seconds in because he spawned on top of a zombie inside of a house. Right back to character creation. So it seems like death is around any corner in that game. Don't spend too long in character creation.
Did he uninstall the game like I would have?
I'm sure he kept trucking on. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah.
I would have hated this game forever after that. Just 15 minutes of being like, fuck this game forever.
I know I mentioned Strippin'. They did like a full-on RP server because I think it has like proximity voice or something like that when you play multiplayer. And so I don't know how many people they had, 8, 16, something like that on the server. And they RP'd the whole thing out and did pretty well. But then eventually I think they just decided to like restart it seems like the type of game where once you kind of know what you're doing, you set up goals for the next run to make sure you go and do that from what I've seen, at least first. So you're not, the power or whatever doesn't start to go out and you have no of whatever resource you're supposed to have at that point. Seems kind of like learning is one of the core goals each run. So,
yep. Well, I can only relate it to like other sort of like open world survival, no story kind of games that I've played which is very, very little. And I'm just trying to think of the things that pulled me back or kept me playing them. Like the last one in memory is Valheim. Like I could, there's always something to work towards. Like I could get better armor and stuff like that. But also there were like, boss fights, different areas to go to, fight bigger creatures. And it just seems like, I don't know if it would be for me because it's just zombies.
Yeah.
No, like special zombies.
It is still early access. Might be something they decide to do later.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. I think it's from what I've seen, and Co can clarify this or add to it, but it seems like they're focusing on the idea of the apocalypse sucking enough with zombies just existing in general that they don't need like a spitter or an exploder or whatever, a boomer or whatever.
Sure.
And so that's kind of what they're going for. But who
knows?
knows?
And also, like, it bears mentioning that I've seen this many times in chat that the mod community for this is enormous.
Yeah.
So, like, if you want something, I'm sure someone has modded it in or will mod it in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
Cool stuff. Is that only on Steam? That's all I saw it on. I don't know if it's on any other. Can you buy it through the website?
I don't know. I have my.
No, it just says buy on Steam. 15.49 euros, I think, or $20, 20 USD. So cool. We'll
GOG too.
Do what? Oh, it's on GOG.
GOG as well.
Awesome. Okay. Cool. Zeke, what's going on with you? What you mentioned the game that you were playing? You said King's Quest. I thought you had played King's Quest in the past. Am I?
Space Quest.
Oh, you played Space Quest. Okay. All right.
Yes, I played Space. I've played Space Quest 4, Roger Wilco, and the Time Rippers was the first Quest game that I had ever played. And then and now I'm playing King's Quest 4. Or, excuse me, 6. Turn it around. IVVI.
Oh. Okay. There's 6.
I always want to say 4, but it's 6 because it's VI. But yeah, this is my first time ever playing a King's Quest game. I actually watched my girl class Katie play like one of the first ones with like the Atari style graphics, like oldie like floppy disk. She wasn't playing it on floppy disk, but she was playing it, and I was like, "What is this?" She's like, "Oh, it's King's Quest, one of the first games I ever played." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, people have mentioned that to me before. And then most of the games I play on CD-ROMathon, most if not all, are games that people send me. Like they find them somewhere and they're like, "Oh shit, I have this game. I'll send it to you." So all the games that most of the games that I played are sent to me. So someone sent me King's Quest 6 and 7. And I was like, "All right, you guys voted for it. I'll give it a shot. I'll take a look at it." And I was fully expecting it to be like a regular, average point and click game. And while it is like everything you expect from a point and click, it's got something special to it that some other point and clicks that I played don't have. It's got a personality. It's got a sense of humor. It's got a great voice acting, like excellent voice acting. It's got a little bit of absurdity to it. I haven't encountered a shitload of moon logic. There's been a couple of leaps in logic that I've had to make, but it's not like Ringworld level of like you got to fill a snake up with manure and put a gem in its mouth or something like that. There's nothing like that. Just a couple of leaps of logic. And if you're like a fucking moon logic apologist, like I get a lot of those in chat. It's like, "Oh, that makes sense. If you think about it, it makes like sure it does." Okay, fine.
I want to butt in here. I had my first ISP apologist yesterday or 2 days ago in my chat because my internet was shitting out, and they were like, "It's really hard for these ISPs to get." And I was like, are you fucking serious?
Talk about devil's advocate, dude.
I was like,
wow.
You're apologizing for the most evil people in the world. Get the fuck out of here. Anyway, sorry. You triggered I guess that was a very traumatic moment for me. Because you said that. I was like, "Oh, God,
that, man.
That's right."
I absolutely get that. It's like, well, of course you'd give the mint to the blah, 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 because, like, they said earlier that he, his tongue needed some cooling or something. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, I get it, but fuck you. Also, the thing that really that I have not experienced because I played quite a few Sierra games, a lot of LucasArts games, a lot of point and clicks over the years now, and King's Quest is the worst worst offender of the fuck you, deal with it kind of attitude of you better have multiple save files. You better save a lot.
You can get soft lock.
You will get all the way to the end of something, like just picture a labyrinth, and you've made your way all the way to the end of the labyrinth, and you didn't pick up one item on the way there. Fuck you. You're soft locked. You have to reset, and you better hope you have a save before you enter the labyrinth, because if you didn't, guess what, asshole? You got to start the game over again. Like that type of shit.
Wow.
And people were like, "That's Sierra all over." I'm like, man, I've never experienced it, like something like that. Because I mean, thankfully, I'm definitely hip to like point and click games and stuff like that. So I mean, you saw like the screen previous, like all those squares, those were all different save files.
Yeah.
I know to save many times and in many different like files, shit like that. So I knew that. I mean, I didn't end up losing a bunch of time, but I just pictured like, I just did like a hypothetical, like, so if I went here and I didn't have this one thing because I didn't hit this one screen, and I got to the end of this and I didn't have it, I would have to go back. And everybody was like, yep. I was like, that's cruel. That's just cruel. That's just mean spirited, dude.
Yeah.
Like there's because one particular part, they lock you in a place.
Oh,
They
yeah.
lock you in a labyrinth. And you can't get out. The only way out is to beat the labyrinth.
Mm.
And that's the thing. Like, if you don't have, like, you can get soft locked in there by not having, like, you have to have 3 particular items that you can miss before you go into that fucking place. And that just seemed like, it was like, that can't be the case. And they're like, that's the case.
Can you imagine being in a situation where you spend like hours and hours and hours trying to puzzle your way out of there and you just don't have what you need?
There's just not an answer.
You're trying like every single thing, pixel hunting everywhere there is.
That's where you hit up GameFAQs right there back in the day.
I guess or call the number.
Yeah, or the number, right? You called it did it have a tip line?
Oh, you bet it did.
Yeah.
And that's what we discussed that too. Like, I bet you they did that on purpose because the tip line is 75 cents a minute. And if you want to dial them up, I go ahead. 1-900 if your cell phone allows 900.
This is actually Spencer's new number right here.
1-900-370-5583 if you want to dial up that number for a Sierra Hints game from 1995.
Number and it's gonna be like, hey baby, thanks for calling.
Yeah.
That's Spencer.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was 75 cents a minute. And you like that adds fucking up. Like it's maybe that's why they did it. Maybe they did it so they could sell more guides to their games because they did that too.
Probably, yeah. Those were all
guides.
If you went to Babbage's or Electronics Boutique or whatever, right next to the game back in the day was the giant, massive, thick fucking guide that you would always buy. Which honestly had some pretty cool art.
That's where I got mine.
Oh yeah, yeah. Prima guides. Although Prima guides were a little bit later. Those started to be like when guides went too. What was it? Guides became like too known. I guess Prima took over. That was all the rage. Before that, it was usually like official, like by the company type guides that they would put out for this type of stuff. Or you just
they had
get some magazine.
24-hour phone support for direct sales and information. They had online sales at CompuServe.
Nice. The old
that's
dial-up.
great.
Yeah.
Sierra Online Technical Support, 24-hour automated. They had automated technical support 24 hours a day.
Nice.
Great. Yep. Anyway, so okay. That aside, that giant middle finger to the player aside, and that's the thing, like people will often come and be like, that Sierra game, that doesn't excuse them, does it? Like, does that forgive them for being assholes? Like, for soft locking you in a game you put like at that point probably like 6 hours, 7, 8 hours into? I don't forgive you for that just because it's tradition. Like, oh yeah, when you walk in the house, they kick you in the nuts. That's their house, dude. That's what they do when you go in their house. They kick you in the nuts. Just get used to it. Like,
some people make you take off their shoes.
I don't forgive you for that.
Other make swift kick to the nuts. Yeah, it's house rules.
Don't defend that bullshit. That's bullshit. Let me leave the labyrinth at the very least.
Yeah, it was definitely a product of the time. I think you could agree to that. Yeah.
So, that aside, the game is great. I'm actually having a damn fine time playing it. The characters in it are great. The way you work stuff out, mostly more often than not makes sense. There's some definite point and click humor to it. Like, you walk up to the castle, and I was like, are those like wolf people? Oh, they're literally guard dogs. They're human. They're dogs the size of humans, like with like, halberds and armor.
Wait, you're
on
telling me
like
that Sierra started furrydom? Is that what's happening here? No,
Freedom's been around forever. It's just now
no
you
wonder
see it.
Microsoft bought them for $70 billion. It was worth it. It was worth it.
But yeah, so it's honestly, I'm having a great time, and I'm going to finish it. Hopefully, I can finish it on Tuesday,
Nice.
and then we move on to whatever game is next. Now this wasn't my choice. So my choice is next, and I don't know if I've chosen yet. Have I? I don't think I did. Oh, but my last choice. Will come back to me.
Okay.
I want to talk about Gex.
Okay. I wanted to say real quick before I move on. I don't know what it is about this art. Maybe it's playing nostalgia is a major factor here. I would love to get like a digital frame and just put a bunch of like the landscape shots. This is a terrible time to talk about it, but just something like this. There's something classic about that art. I don't know what
Yeah.
It's not even like high def looking or anything, but it's just like, yes, the childhood or something. It's good looking. I like it.
And the other thing I wanted to mention, on King's
I would
Quest
buy
before...
an NFT of that. I guess is where I'm going with this.
The one thing I did want to mention that I forgot to bring up was there is a what does DRM stand for? Like, you can't copy it. What does that stand for?
Digital rights management.
Yeah.
Digital rights management. Okay. So their version, the way of dealing with that, their DRM is you have to have this. You have to have the jewel case book that comes with the game.
Okay.
In order to complete certain parts of the game. Thankfully, whoever sent this to me sent it to me brand new in the cellophane, so thank you very much. But there are things in this book, you can probably look it up now. I don't know if it changes from game to game. I would doubt it. But there are things in this book that you need. And I have highlighted certain things. I've made notes. I've circled things. Like, it's cool. I like that. That's a cool, like, real world addition to the game. They have riddles in here that you don't see in the game, which help you. Like, you could brute force a lot of the puzzles if you wanted to, but it was fun. Like, going like 4 men standing in a row, third from the left, and down you go. The rest in order move you on. The youngest, the oldest, and the second son. And then just sitting there thinking, like, you have to have this book. It's nowhere inside the game.
Right.
That was cool. Also, that riddle, still, I will stand by it. It was ambiguous language, and that's why it took me so long to solve it.
It's a little, it's a tiny bit different, but I think the next Destiny expansion, now they sell that to you as collector's editions. There's like a statue. And I think the statue is going to have some sort of in-game implementation to like crack some weird code that they've like hinted at, which is kind of cool. Like, Destiny has done some weird stuff with that before, where like the community has to solve a giant puzzle together, where the people that have the collector's edition thing for like $200 will have.
Didn't they do
like
that
some
recently?
sort of thing.
They did that recently with like the hex thing that they did like a while ago.
Oh, and I think didn't someone said the God of War Collector's Edition did something like that. Was that for the Thanos glove in God of War? I think that might have been what that was for. Kind of like amiibo stuff, I guess. But yeah. Anyways, that stuff still exists. It's just monetized all hell these days. It's not against like DRM. So yeah. All right, we'll circle back then and talk about the game that you chose, Zeke. Before that, though, let's talk about Expeditions Rome. This game just dropped.
Yeah.
And it also has, like, I saw a bunch of Twitter chatter about the extension that they were using with this. So first off, what's the game? Tell us about that, and then we'll jump into the extension conversation.
Okay, Expedition Rome is basically what you would get if you took a historical setting and then you took a turn-based CRPG like Divinity or Wasteland 3, and you were to basically cross it with like XCOM.
Okay.
So it's somewhere cozily in between like an XCOM game and a CRPG. You essentially control a small army with combat like this, like a very small group. You have like 12-ish people to pick from, and you can use 6 at a time. And then there is a global kind of meta game where you actually control like a legion of thousands as they kind of take over this kind of world map kind of thing as well. It is very cool. There are tons of items and weapons. The weapons have the skills attached to them. There are passive effects on them as well. 4 different classes with 3 specializations each. There is a main story. It is fully voiced. And overall, like I expected it to play it for at least a day. I went in to try it, and I have now played it for 2 days, and I'm playing it tomorrow for sure as well. It is very fun. There's a lot of customization. There is a good amount of difficulty, and it's been great so far. In terms of the Twitch extension,
Yeah. Seems pretty big.
probably the most like well implemented extension I've seen in a while. So
Nice.
it's an overlay on the screen.
I can't.
Players
Maybe I can-
can there's something in it called Denari. You can buy Denari with bits. However, you also earn Denari just for showing up, and you passively earn Denari for free just by watching, which is good. Also, as of next week, they're going to give broadcasters the ability to turn off bits for Denari. So then people will just get it for free, which is definitely what I prefer as well. For Denari, people can they can give you resources in the game. There's various resources that you can give the streamer, like medicine, money, more units for their armies. Here's one of the battles, by the way. There's also
this is someone's stream. I'm just showing the, the extension. This is a live stream.
yeah.
Real quick.
Oh, Mountain Man, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that the you can also you can do all sorts of things in combat. You can set people on fire. You can rename enemy combatants and friendlies after your Twitch name. You can even go as far as a viewer to have them change your target and things like that. You can also, if you look on the left-hand side, when they're in, I don't think this guy's in a fight right now, so you can't look. But when they're in a fight, if you look on the left-hand side, it'll show you a top-down map of the entire fight and where all enemies and friendlies are.
Wow.
You can tune into somebody playing,
Yeah.
like move to the left
Right.
and see the exact state of the battle as it's currently being fought. So it is cool. Like it is definitely a very right up there in the top left, I think.
Oh
like
my
that.
god, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
What the
So you have
hell?
some commands and stuff down there that you can spend money on, the Denari, to do different things.
Man.
It's
So
it's pretty cool, man.
monetization. So this is, you said this is using bits?
The way that it works is that the app uses something called Denari,
Right.
and you can buy Denari with bits.
Okay.
Streamers get to set their own prices for everything. So
Oh.
on my stream, for instance, I jacked the price up of everything to extremely high values because I did not want people buying bits to do anything, and I didn't want I wanted to just play the game. I didn't want it to get flooded with stuff. And even then, I still got flooded with items from people, which was very nice of them. But it did unbalance the game a little bit. However, you can't set this as a streamer yet, but eventually they're going to make it so when you join a stream, you immediately get X amount of Denari. And then every 10 minutes, you can also set viewers to then gain Denari. So the premise is the longer you watch, then the more Denari you earn, and then you can start spending it on stuff. What you see
Ah.
happen most fights is if you see that purple name, right when a fight starts, anyone can buy the ability to randomly name a friendly or enemy after their own Twitch name. So right whenever a fight starts, immediately you'll see all these names start populating over everybody, and then I get to start killing my viewers, which is fantastic.
What's the
Or they kill me.
monetary wise, like, what's the rev share? Is it 100% goes streamer, or does the
I believe it's standard extension split. So I think there
Oh, okay.
is some kind of split thing where like the dev gets a little bit and the
Sure.
streamer then gets, so I think there is a portion there. I'm not exactly sure how that works. I don't really use that. The
Barry's
bits for
saying
Denari though,
80-20.
and what's up?
Barry's saying 80-20, 80 streamer, 20 dev.
got
Or
it.
extension
There
dev.
you go.
Okay.
There you go. So it is very cool, especially for like streamers where that are paying their bills with every stream they do. Like being able to turn that kind of thing on and then incentivize bits for participating in the game. That's cool. That's great. And I think that's great that they included that at the beginning. But yeah, as of next week, they're going to be patching in the ability to again just turn all that off.
That's
You don't want to deal
wild.
with any of it, and then just use the extension for what it is.
How about channel points? That'd be great.
Not channel points, but again, the Denari function kind of like channel points. So if you're watching a stream of the game, you're passively earning the money.
That man.
So I think
that's the
like
future.
every 10 minutes. Yeah, every 10 minutes you're earning Denari. And again, the streamer can't set it yet, but But I mean,
So it's
you could set it to like that they get the full price of all the things every 10 minutes if you wanted to. You know, you could make everything cost 200, and then you can make it so when somebody joins the channel, they get 5,000 dinar. So it's really up to the streamer, however they want to handle that.
So let me ask all your chats, what would you be willing to pay like on a regular basis? Bit wise. Is 100 bits too much? 500 too much?
Man, I think that's fucking like incredible that extension exists. That's the first AAA game developer. We've said this on air when we've had like I don't know, we've had a bunch of game developers who have incorporated drops and stuff like that, and I think those are obviously utilized in a way on Twitch that we've talked about before. But this is like the next wave, the first AAA game that like functions in this way with some sort of extension that like an XQC or a Soda Poppin', or even if Co was to lower the prices and actually you know, I'm not saying you're wrong for doing this, but if you were to utilize it the way that the extension was supposed to be utilized, that'd be a giant cash cow for any streamer of that size. Yeah.
I could have made probably thousands if I leveraged
easily.
that properly. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that's 100%
I mean, again,
the future.
You could just set it so there's no passive income generation of Denari and that people have to spend bits. And then, I mean, you just, you know, to put your name in the game and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I was actively telling people not to spend money on the app and jacked up all the prices, and people were still doing it.
Yep.
But
So it's kind of like, if you flip that script, then there's no question. And again, that's great for streamers that are like paying their bills with this stuff, or streamers who, you know, are need that extra money for something. Like the ability to be like, okay, I'm going to schedule this and include people and have it so tips basically go directly to my game and incentivize people to do it. Having that option is great. And that's
awesome.
That's super cool that they're able to do that.
Yeah.
Again, I think it's really cool of them. They even are giving us the option of turning that off. I think that speaks very highly. That's great. They didn't need to spend resources to not make money. But at the same time, they were like, okay, you want that option? We'll give you that option. Yeah, we'll put it in the next patch.
Yep.
And it's like, well, that's awesome. Thank you.
Let's not forget the extension creator probably said like if someone big does it, like,
oh, it's a job. Yeah. I mean, that's giant
Oh,
earnings.
That's a good source of
I want to
income
say
right
by
there.
Muxy.
Yeah.
If you've heard of them.
Yep.
They're a relatively big Twitch extension creator. So what we're starting to see is like entire dev companies like Muxy, for instance, who are now deving in between devs. So we've got the people that are deving the game,
middleware.
We've got Twitch deving the platform, and now we have a third kind of tier of dev between the two that are like deving their own little interactive side of it. So it worked out great in this case. This is one of the best apps that I've seen so far.
That's awesome.
Do it. So yeah, it's great synergy, and it'd be really cool moving forward.
Talking about making money through like you know, having chat spend bits and stuff like that. Any time where it's like anywhere near like that kind of feels weird. Like I always think like, what? It'd be good for charity. Like if I did like a charity stream, like probably make some good ducats for, you know.
Totally.
I have to admit, to this day, I am still surprised that Twitch has not in any way leveraged bits for charity of any kind. I mean, that could make them a lot of money if they allowed streamers to have their bits go to charity, because Twitch could still take their cut and we could then give it all to charity. We can't do that right now. We cannot do that. We can't.
They have the setup for it because they allow that with GDQ.
Yeah, but we can't do it. Like it's in our contracts, we cannot assign any value to bits. It's not a currency, and they're very clear about that.
We can't.
So if I were to say you cheer me 1,000 and I will give $10 to charity, I can't do that contractually. So the fact that they don't let us like back end just hook our bit systems into charities and stuff, I hope to see that one day. They can do it, obviously, like with GDQ and stuff. But
maybe it's a matter like the legal matter is
we've all been asking for that for years, and it's not really a thing.
The legal matter is GDQ is actually receiving the money from the bits, and Twitch is just saying, "How much did you get?" Okay, that goes to charity.
I also think it's a bigger deal because I think GDQ functions as a charity itself.
Probably.
So if Twitch gives it directly to GDQ, then they can. That's essentially like your tax write-off. Your tax issues are moot if it's going directly to the charity. So I'm guessing what would have to happen is we as caster, they'd have to basically form official connections with charities, and then like 1,000 cheer goes to me. I just funnel it to like St. Jude or something, and then Twitch does that and claims, I don't know.
It's a
TLDR. I'm sure there's good reasons they can't do
everything you just explained is why they haven't done it, because it's a fucking headache.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it would be nice.
Yeah.
I really hope they never do that, because I gotta tell you, I've been skimming. Like, every time I tell you, like, all these bits are going to charity, like, that's one for them, two for me kind of a situation. And I just,
Nice.
Freaking Zeke, man.
Yeah. Man,
I've
okay.
got a whole log of like fonts for different charities, so I can just post it on Twitter and be like, look what I gave to Sage. They just typed it up in their font.
Zeke's about to reveal he's the person behind the whole Turkish money laundering scheme. Over the past 2 months. Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I didn't mean to out you like that. I apologize.
I like how someone in chat is like, does Zeke realize that clip is going to be used in court someday? And it's like,
yeah,
well,
it's true.
It's okay. Zeke's way too small of a fry for Twitch to laugh. We all are.
It's true.
Oh, you got no love for 718? No love for 718 over here? Shit.
I wonder how many people actually get that reference. I do.
Yeah, probably.
It's kind of came and went, didn't it?
It was such a small blip in the news, but I forgot to delete the emotes, so it's still there.
I think it's still good. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, what we could talk. I feel like that's a fun topic for a future show. I think that changed a lot of perceptions on Twitch, but that's a whole other thing. Anyways, jumping back to the game. The actual game, apart from extension inside, thumbs up. You're into it. Seems pretty well thought out.
Yeah, it's good. Like even if it didn't have the app or any of that stuff, it's fun. I'm having a good time with it. The story is just good enough to keep things interesting. The gameplay has been a blast. The metagame is actually relatively developed and cool. Like, I'm enjoying that too. So yeah, if you are a turn-based combat fan, I think it'd be pretty cool. Even another little addendum: I am normally not in historical games, and I actually went into this game with pretty low expectations because, frankly, I like my fantasy, I like my sci-fi. I tend to get kind of bored when it comes to just like straight up historical stuff. But yeah, I mean, the rest of this stuff is good enough to go in. Early warning: this game is definitely about ancient Rome and things that happened back then. So just keep in mind, it has some stuff in it that may make some folks a little uncomfortable. Like the fact that
with the Italian government, like
general resource.
Okay.
like the way they treat women is very historically accurate. You literally like have to use slaves to do things. Like you take over things with your army on the world map, and it's like, you don't have enough slaves to use that mine, do you? And it's like, okay, guess I gotta go get some more slaves.
Buy 100 slaves for $20 USD, low MTX. Is that in the game?
It's awkward. It's awkward. So, but anyway, just keep in mind, they do. Although it, of course, takes liberties in its historical fiction, it's somewhat realistic. So if that's something that you're not looking for, like there was somebody today that I was watching that was really not really, they were not feeling how women were being treated in this, and it's kind of like, I don't know how it was. Like, it sucked. We all kind of agreed it sucked, but like, yeah, that's just kind of how people were back then, unfortunately.
Yeah. Get it. I understand. This game specifically in trailer time has had a ton of like videos they put out for marketing. Have you heard about the end game at all for this? Because it seems very expansive. They've put out a ton of like post game fights and like it seems like there's a lot of game going on. Is kind of what I'm getting at here. So I'm curious if you end up finishing it and get to that point. If we'll hear about
I really don't know if I'm going to. I mean, I thought this was going to be like a 20 or 30 hour thing. I was told today in chat that the PC Gamer guys for their review, they clocked their game at 70 hours.
Damn.
And it's like, damn, dude. I don't know if I'm going to be playing this for 70 hours. I mean, it's fun, but I got a lot of other stuff I got to do.
Yeah.
And February is right around the corner. I mean, shit, dude.
Yeah.
Just over a week to Dying Light 2. So yeah, it's I don't know if I'll be able to put that much time into it, but I'm having fun with it so far.
Cool. Is it a $30? I think.
I don't know. It was pretty cool. The devs reached out to me a few days before it came out, and I have like an emblem and stuff for Twitch drops, which has been kind of cool. They gave me a copy of the game at that point too. So
$45.
$45. Yeah. $45. If you like this kind of game and you definitely plan on playing it beginning to end, I'd say it's worth that. Yeah.
Sweet. Cool. That's Expeditions Rome. Yeah, I hope we get to see more extensions utilize that. The whole bits thing aside, anything that can bring in the stream into a game like that for chat interaction and stuff That's the dream, I think, for a lot of broadcasters. So cool. Zeke, what game did you get to choose?
No, JP,
No?
you're not getting out of this. Tell us how League of Legends is going.
I hit silver last night.
Woohoo!
But here's the, I actually I had a strong conversation with my wife and yelled at her about the algorithm that she's so clearly in charge of in League of Legends. No. Me and Strippin finally decided to duo queue. So we had been solo queuing for the longest time. We decided to duo queue starting on Friday. We played for like 11 hours then and 11 hours yesterday. We went from bronze, like middle of bronze 2 at like 30 LP. So it's 1 to 100 LP per bronze 4 to 1. So 400 LP total to move up basically. You get about 16.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, you get 16 LP per win and 14 LP per loss if your MMR is where you're supposed to be. So it's a grind is ultimately what I'm getting at. And so we made it all the way to placement matches. When you hit placement matches, it's a best of 5. You either win 3 games or lose 3 games. If you lose 3 games, you go back to bronze. Then you have to get more LP to get back into placements.
Oh, you can lose like the bronze, silver rank.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
it's different than TFT. Like TFT, you can lose as many times as you.
I don't know.
You'll never lose the rank you have.
You'll
go down like 4, 3, 2, 1, but
it takes a lot to go from silver to bronze in terms of losing. Like they put a pretty big chunk there to make sure that you don't de-rank, but it's totally possible. So all that said, me and Sam did very well in terms of win percentages. Now, League is a game that tries to keep your win percentages at around 50 to 60%. 60 is generally kind of high, but it generally wants everyone to lose 50% of the time. That's kind of the algorithm is how it works. And that's how they keep players, coming back to grind whatever they want to grind in terms of league ranking. And so after 2 days of like 11 to 12 hours each, I think the first day we went 10-5 in terms of our win-loss. And yesterday we went 10-4 or something like that. So I got into placements before Sam and I ended up going 3-1. And so I got silver. When I was 1 game up in placements, Sam got into placements as well. This was last night. So I got silver. We had won, I think, 1 game at that point. And so Sam needed to get 2 more wins or 3 more losses to get demoted. So then we kept playing. And essentially because we were doing so well and because our win percentage was so high, the algorithm threw us into what is called Smurf queue. Now, Smurf queue is something that's not necessarily real by Riot. They don't say it's real, but the community has effectively been like, no, this is totally fucking real. Here's X, Y, and Z, how this works. This is a Smurf queue. This person admitted to being a Smurf. They're clearly a Smurf in game. If you look statistically at the data, like they are miles apart in terms of skill from the other players on this team. So we lose the second game. Sam's 2-2. He needs 1 win or 1 loss to decide it. He jokes and he says, when he's like 1 game in, he goes, here's what's going to happen. You're going to get silver. I'm going to go 2-2, and then we're going to lose the 5th game. We queue up. We get into the 5th game. We start playing, and it quickly becomes apparent that the other team has 3 Smurfs on it. We end up losing like 4 kills to 30 kills or something like that because the other team is like plat players. They admit to being plat players after the fact and that they were smurfing. And that's how Sam loses and goes back to bronze. So he didn't have a good time last night. That's simply the story.
No, would it
got really fucked.
Look, now would the
yeah, one of them got banned, so he admitted to being smurfed.
Would the penalty for him have leaving the game been less than the penalty for him losing the game that badly?
I assume that counts as a loss, right?
Yes, it's a loss, flat out. Yeah. Honestly, from what I understand, I think I understand your question. Feel free to ask it again if I didn't. From what I've been told, Zeke, when you get Smurfs in your game, it's actually a good thing because if you win, you get more LP. So you actually want to play against Smurfs based on the algorithm and based on how they dish out LP.
But on the flip side, they will
by their nature.
Yes,
Yeah.
by the nature, they will beat the fucking shit out of you. However,
Yeah,
the
okay.
hope is that on your team, you also have Smurfs, which is the next game, because Sam didn't want to end on a loss because it was a fucking pretty brutal loss. We queued up again, and we had someone on our team named like Smurf Gonna Get You. And he ended up going like 26-3 or something for like his kill death. And he carried us because he was a fucking Smurf that was on our team. And so we don't know really like if we're in actual Smurf queue or if it, because we were playing at like, 1 a.m. last night, Eastern time, if we were just playing where there's not enough people and we just had Smurfs in our game or what. We don't know the full story. We're going to queue up again later tonight and try to get them to silver. But we might just flat out be in like a Smurf queue. It might have just been super unlucky.
Now, this is all just skill, right?
What do you mean?
They beat you that badly because they're just straight up better than you.
Oh, they're just better. Yeah.
Okay.
They're on accounts where they so if the hierarchy for those that don't play League, I think you know this, Zeke, but it's iron, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, master, and then it goes up to like grandmaster and all this stuff. And so
isn't diamond
diamond then master? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because I'm plat TFT and I'm hard stuck at plat. I can't break my way out of plat to get to diamond.
Yeah,
I got to like rank 2, and then I just had the losses in TFT are fucking brutal.
We talked about them. Yeah.
Oh my god, like you get like 20 something for if you get first place, and it's like 15, 10, and 10 for fourth on up.
Yeah,
and then like you might lose 10 for fifth place, but every other place is like 30. 60, all of them, all of your points are gone. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Back down to 0 you go. What did you have? 80 points? No more.
Sounds
Jesus.
yeah. So essentially what happened is after the game where Sam lost in his promos, and like this is what we had to keep repeating to chat, because the other thing is you brought up the idea of like apologist in chat. We kept constantly getting people like, oh, they're not Smurfs, they just play better, blah blah blah. The people literally said, hey, sorry about that. Keep trying to get to plat. I'm a Smurf. My main account got banned. It was X, Y, or Z. You look it up. It was a plat account. So like, unless he just pulled that account out of his ass, then maybe. But he also did incredibly well in the game, like absurdly
That brings up a weird thing though. If somebody gets their main account banned, is the premise that they can no longer play League of Legends ranked ever
on their main account?
But if they make a second account, aren't they smurfing, and isn't that illegal?
Smurfing is not illegal. They don't. Riot doesn't necessarily ban people for it.
Did you say that guy earlier admitted to it and got banned?
No. He just got his main account banned because he was an asshole. He probably cursed someone out or said.
Okay.
Yeah,
I misunderstood that. So smurfing is not illegal at all.
No, it's a gray area. Boosting accounts is not.
Isn't it hard to determine, like, unless you name your account like Smurfing these nuts, like something like that? Like, isn't it kind of hard to like?
Yes,
I'm not Smurfing. I'm just trying to work my way up to the rank.
Yes, it's very hard.
My premise is that for like that guy, like if his main account got banned and he started a new account, I mean, he'd have to be plat at low level. So at that case, like he's just
it just happens.
Unless it was like Twitch, where it's like if you get banned, if you come back, it's ban evasion, or something like that.
It's not like
I didn't know if that was okay.
Yeah. That's why a lot of people say Smurf queue exists, because the algorithm detects that, hey, you did well in your last 20 or 30 games. We're going to put you with all these other people who are doing incredibly well in their games, which is why we think we got put in Smurf queue, because once me and Strippin started duoing, we would finish games and be like 19 kills, 4 deaths. Like I had multiple games like that yesterday. So what our understanding is that when we get put into these games, the system, the algorithm believes us to be the Smurfs because we were doing so well. When in actuality, we're just bronze players trying to get into silver that had a good game. And so that's where the situation comes into play. That's like, this fucking sucks. Like that's shit that Strippin got into a game where there was 3 plat level players or whatever on the enemy team that just shit on us, and there's nothing we can do. Right? Like you take the loss and you move on ultimately.
What is the point of doing that, of smurfing?
Well,
sometimes you win games, but
sometimes your account gets banned. Essentially over time.
The benefit.
I mean, the benefit is that you get to feel like a god in a game, right? Like there's that high. I would assume most of the people.
I didn't think that was the only thing you get out of it.
No, there's really no other thing, because after after X amount of games, a person will rank where they need to be according to their skill level. Like that player will eventually, if they play enough, will get to plat. The issue starts to be when you start throwing games because you don't want to be plat. So you intentionally lose games so that your rating stays the same. That's a whole nother thing in League of Legends. That is a
Why
real
would you
thing.
play if you don't want to go up rank?
Because
I don't understand that.
It
doesn't compute.
You'd rather play in a game where you're going to fucking dominate instead of a game where you're going to do average, right? Like they're chasing that high.
Yeah, I know, but it's like okay, you're third string, but you're in the NFL. It's like, nah, I'm going to be the star of like this bush league. Like, is that like the kind of like the idea? Okay, okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely like a emotional, like chemical response to doing well in a game, and then getting to a place, rank wise where you will always be mediocre, right? You can never get that high, because you're always going to be in, playing against people of equal or greater skill level. So it just depends on the person, but yeah,
Someone said you have a hidden stat called MMR, which dictates how many points you get per win or loss. Some people can't climb because their MMR is shit, so they make new accounts to have a fresh one, making it easier.
That's also true. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately the algorithm is to blame because Riot is not in the business of making a fair algorithm. They're in the business of making an algorithm that makes you want to play more and forces you to play more. So they don't necessarily
Why
care.
would they do that? Oh.
Yeah. Money at the end of the day, right? Like, yeah.
Now League of Legends is free to play, right?
It is. Yeah. But you can buy the heroes. You can buy skins, obviously, is the money making thing. It prints money. The skins are $10.
Are you comfortable with saying how much you spent?
My wife works at Riot. I don't spend money in it.
Oh, that's right. God damn it. Son of a bitch.
Riot employees can hand out like LP. And so I think I've gotten like 10,000 LP, which is equivalent of $100, and that's it.
Yeah.
I don't actively use it. If anything, one of the nice things that happens when you friend someone, they can gift you a skin in game. And so a bunch of viewers have sent me friend requests. I've accepted it. Then after like a 24-hour period, they can gift you skins in game.
Or in JP's case, he friends someone, then makes them love him, then marries them, and then using nepotistic corruption spells.
The long con is paying off.
That's right.
Well,
yes.
the other
ultimate
thing,
friends invite.
The odd thing is like there's actually a system for League of Legends for content creators where you can apply to get a Riot account, and it just has everything unlocked. And so I could probably go that path, but I haven't looked into the specifics of it. And there's also something where it's like, I don't know if that's as like fun. I don't know. It's like being given the keys to the kingdom. Do you still want to be in that kingdom afterwards if you've got everything, is the way I look at it. But yeah, I don't know. I'd rather have the ability to get stuff rather than just like have everything unlocked. There's
like starting with a max level character in an MMO.
100%.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
You got to earn that.
Yeah. Yep.
I put about $100 in.
Oh, and TFT.
I bought one, like there was like the bundle, like it's $100 bundle. You get all this like that stuff, and mostly it was after playing it for many hours. For playing it for I don't know how many hours, probably like 40, 50 hours. I had already been playing it, and I was just fucking sick of looking at the same fucking arena, same fucking people, like same champions over and over again. I'm like, fuck it. I'm gonna get some eggs. I'm gonna get some fucking. I'm gonna open some goddamn eggs. I don't want to look at this fucking green grass anymore.
Yeah. Strippin got into buying boxes for the lunar event. Do you know what that means, Zeke? So that he could get. He's trying to get the like 2% dog or fox or something that's rare.
Yeah, there you lost me. I know the event because it pops up, and I kind of like walked around a little bit. But I get rewards for League of Legends all the time that I fucking no clue what they are, do.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. Like, I'm honestly the same way. Every time you level up in League, you get like a champion capsule. And every once in a while, the chat will be like, hey, you should go open your stuff. And I'll click on it, and there's like 30 champion capsules. And I'm like, oh, I guess I should open this. Like, I just play the game. I don't necessarily spend or have the want to spend any money. Because I think I still have I've bought one hero so that I could play them. I think is all I've bought, and maybe a skin. But that I didn't spend my own money there. That was the wife benefits from Riot. So yeah, and that's pretty much all I've been playing. It's like 6-7 hours a day. Been doing news. It's honestly the first time I had this thought last night as I was going to sleep. It's the first time probably in the 10, 11 years that I've been streaming where I'm not stressed to create content that I know is going to get viewers. And like, that was a really good feeling of like, I could do this pretty much every day, do the news, do drop frames, talk about Marvel shows on Mondays, and just play League. Like my blood pressure might not like that a couple of years from now, months, weeks, days, but you know, it's pretty good. I could just continue playing this and not have to worry about that.
Great place to be, man.
Yeah. So I'm very, very thankful that like, that's where I'm at right now mentally, which is a good thing.
I'm dreading. I'm not dreading, but I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do when CD-ROM-thon's done? Because like every day this month, I'm like, it's gonna be a great day. I'm gonna do some CD-ROM games. It's gonna be fun. Everybody's like gonna talk about nostalgic things. Like I remember I played this with my uncle. Blah blah blah. It's gonna be great. And now I'm thinking like, what the fuck am I gonna do? And you know, people said like extended. Do just do that. Like it's got to be special.
Yeah.
Got to be one month out of the year,
dude.
Got to be special.
That's how roleplay was, right? Like after there was a show drop off point in terms of the number of episodes, where like people don't have the time to watch the amount of episodes prior, so it's better to end the show and start something new than it is to keep the show going.
That's how it is with the CRPGs and long RPGs.
Totally. Yeah. Any game is like that too.
Oh yeah, especially towards the end of like Pathfinder. When I'm 200 hours into a game, like people drop in and they're just like, I like this game. I like this broadcaster. But I have no clue what's happening. I don't know what I'm watching. All I'm going to do is spoil it for myself if I ever play. Like, no question.
Yeah. I mean, you even see like Critical Role does that, right? Like Critical Role starts a new campaign, 150,000 people watching, 200,000 people watching. Now you cut like 60 episodes in and they're down to like 40 or 50,000, which obviously still a fucking massive amount, but there's less retention.
It's still like 2/3 less than it was.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. That's just the business of streaming. That's how it goes, which is why it's been nice with League. Cause you can pop into the stream whenever you want. Right. Like I haven't played a game like that or streamed like that since like the days of Overwatch. And even then it wasn't smart. And I wouldn't say it's smart today, but
that's one of the interesting parts of being a single or genre type streamer where your genre doesn't have a defined beginning or end.
Yeah.
Like if you're a BR streamer or if you're a League streamer or if, you know, like that's a GTA RP streamer. Another good, like it's a very comfortable place to be if you're really enjoying and feeling your game. Like it's nice.
Yeah. That's not to say I'm not looking forward to February, right? Like fucking incredible games coming out. We'll probably spend next week. What is the date on next week? Is that the 29th? 30th. Let's spend next week talking about all the shit coming out in February.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't since we're on, see, it's nice that we're on Sundays now because I don't think that we're going to be like conflicting with any major releases.
No, because everything comes out middle of the week, except for Elden Souls.
Yeah. February 5th will be our first one. 12th, all the big stuff comes out on the 8th of that week. Yeah, well, it's mostly like Tuesday. Horizon.
I got them all lined up on Fridays. Dying Light 2, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Elden Ring, all Friday.
Yeah, that's true.
Wait, when does
I don't know if that's correct anymore, but
18th is Horizon, yeah.
I'm sorry, it was 6th and 13th, not 5th and 12th. Oh man, okay, that may be a little tough, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll cover all the games next week because February will be a wild ride. There's a massive amount of games in like a 3 or 4 week period. So
yes, Elden Souls. Yes,
Elden Souls, where you can get.
Oh, and for the record, everyone's saying 11th for Lost Ark. If you pre-order it or something, it's the 8th.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be playing it, it's going to be the 8th. Are you guys doing Lost Ark, by the way?
I think I am. Yeah, they're doing. You're probably in the same conversation in terms of sponsor content that I think I'm in, and so it's a different type of sponsor, if that makes sense. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm
Dude,
curious.
I'm basically giving it my cozy stream spot for like the entire month.
That makes
Like,
sense.
I was either going to not play it or I was going to play it, and I've decided I've decided to try to play it, especially with the sponsored stuff. It's like I will give it my best try. Like,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's gonna be new hot games during the days and cozy Lost Ark evenings. We'll see how it goes.
I'm looking forward to it. February will be fun. I'm also looking forward to like probably not playing every game right at launch because there's so many fucking games coming out in like
What are y'all's lists for February?
Elden Ring's probably top of it. I've been playing Horizon still off stream. I'm a little worried about the tech shock of going from 4K 120 hertz to whatever the PS5 is, 4K maybe checkerboard 60, whatever they're going for. But it'll probably still look fine. So that'll probably be second or so on the list. And then I got to figure out like Lost Ark is looking obviously very good. Plus there's the sponsor portion of it, which I will most likely, that requires playing it if you're sponsored for it. But I also want to look at Destiny because that's a pretty big release because there's also a raid coming with that. So I don't know if there's enough hours in the day is ultimately the issue.
A big total Warhammer guy. Like you and Strippin had
that's also on the list. 3? Yeah, I think
are you gonna look at 3?
There, yeah, so that's also potentially sponsored, and your name got brought into that conversation.
I think it did.
Yeah.
So
that might be a thing.
We're still figuring out that whole thing, I think.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going on with that. But have you seen the trailers for that? Total War or Warhammer 3 looks like some crazy shit. It looks expansive.
It is one of the games I've been asked most about in February.
Enough. It looks very expansive.
And then PoE.
I don't think I'm playing this league. At least not at start. I'm a little worried about it. I don't know how you fit
it's
that
a PoE
into the
league
frame.
And expansion.
Yeah,
they're not just calling it a league. Yeah, it is a league and expansion. Like I can't believe they're dropping this in February.
Yeah, dude. Anytime the Lost Ark Twitter account tweets, I'm just like, hey, fucking release the game.
Like, I know. Right?
Release it. What are you doing?
They keep taunting us. They're like, hey, you're ready for February?
Yeah.
You gonna have enough time to play Lost Ark? And it's like, well, I'd have a lot more time if you'd stop tweeting and release the damn game.
Yep. And then, I just think about Elden Ring, and it's like, that's also probably a massive game. Alongside everything else that will require a shit ton of time. Lost Ark, Destiny. Horizon's probably a 20-hour experience, right? Like, that's not going to be short by any imagination. Yeah.
If you decide to do anything more than the main story, it'll probably be a lot longer.
Yeah. So I got to really sit down and figure out February. I've also started a Dying Light 1 co-op run with Sips. So like Dying Light 2 might be on the table now. I don't really know. Zeke,
dude, I played a side quest about an hour, Dying Light 2.
Pretty good. Did it run okay? Was it buggy? That's the biggest issue I'm worried about.
Ran fine, no real bugs. It felt like everything in Dying Light 1 and just like a little more.
That's good.
It felt real good.
I watched
not sponsored comment, by the way. They gave me early access to it. They didn't sponsor it.
Nice.
Just a heads up.
Did you all have the same mission? Because I watched Dan for a little bit. Oh, you had different missions. Okay.
There were 2 different missions we could have picked, and Jesse and Dan picked one of them, and I actually purposely picked the other one.
Got it.
So
okay.
I did a different mission.
Because Dan was playing and he was sneaking around in a building, and and it was like a lot scarier than what I've experienced in Dying Light 1 so far. So I don't know if they're like going that route.
Big premise in 2 is that the zombies like retreat into buildings during the day.
Yeah.
And then like a lot of missions like send you into those buildings during that time. So in the first one, you could kind of sneak around zombies a little bit, but in the second one, there's like stealth mechanics. Like when you go in these buildings, if you don't trigger anything, you can like sneak just right around them and stuff. So it's a lot more tension inducing. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. See how they balance that.
Nice. Zeke, for you have I think a stance on your channel that you don't necessarily play stuff right out of the gate. Is there anything that's breaking that veil that is like Elden Ring to break that policy? Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Elden Ring will break that policy. Or it's not like a policy. It's just like, it doesn't make business sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. doesn't make business sense to me. But Elden Ring is one of those games that it's a From game. It's a Souls game. Like I love it, and those usually do okay for me anyway. Like either way, and everybody has fun. And I usually try and like spice it up, make it a little different.
Sure.
Than you might find on another channel. I'm still toying with the idea of the thing I did for Dark Souls 3 that people still remembers, the pick it up and play with it
Oh yeah.
challenge.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
just like any weapon or armor that I pick up, I have to play with it until I find something new, and that creates some fucking awful fights. But funny. They're funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so.
True. Is Elden Ring the only one? You were pretty big on Horizon. You played it off stream though. Is that going to be the solution for this one?
Yeah, that's probably going to be that's going to be a game for Zeke.
Yeah. Hey,
It's going to be my white wine spritzer when I get off of work.
I'm replaying the first one, like I said. I think I had strong feelings about that when it first came out, and maybe I just forgot them. But like, that's a hell of a fucking game. So I'm getting pretty excited.
DLC is great too. Don't sleep on it.
That's why I'm playing it, because I never played the DLC. I'm
DLC is great. It's great.
Yeah. The only issue that I've talked about this with my chat the past week, I absolutely hate that you can't AoE loot. The looting in that game drives me insane after a fight. And so if in the new game I can walk up to a fight and just press a button, and then like all of the fucking everything around me just sucks up into Aloy, that'll be the greatest change. It'll be so good.
You're not wrong.
It'll be so perfect. Because they even do the thing where you like go into a fight and then a cutscene happens and then it puts you somewhere random and you have to go back to your old, like all the bodies you just killed, and one by one. Oh, let me get some metal shards here and some more metal. Oh, there's some wire. I need some wire. Let me get that so I can craft some arrows. Like, give me AoE loot. That's what I want. That's the biggest change. So, anything else for you, Zeke, that will break the policy?
Or at maybe Dying Light 2.
Yeah,
Dying Light 2. I'm definitely interested in that. I maybe get to play it a little early.
Nice.
Yeah, I think being a part of that big push.
Yeah.
I think maybe got me a spot like playing it on the 3rd rather than the 4th or whatever. So we'll see.
Sweet.
How that goes. But yeah, if I get to play it early, I'm definitely taking advantage of that. I mean, come on.
Yep.
But yeah, other than that, like, no, the Horizon's going to be a game just for me, and to play on my own time, and then Elden Ring. So beginning and end of the month are going to be big, like the big release days for me.
Yeah. What were we gonna say, Co, about Dying Light?
Quick note to you, JP, and any other streamers that may watch this podcast. The Techland guy has a sheet. His name is Sherry on Twitter, SHERI, and you can basically just sign up to play Dying Light 24 hours early.
Oh.
So, like, I'm going to be starting my playthrough on February 2nd at 6 p.m. ET, because the official release time is February 3rd at 12 a.m. BST, which is 6 hours after ET. So,
cool.
I actually get to play it on February 2nd.
Nice. Yeah. I think, is that just, is that like Keymailer or whatever?
I got the key straight from them.
Okay.
So I think they're doing it directly. Like the Sherry guy I'm talking about, he is a Techland dude. So
Got it. I think I found that tweet, but then, yeah. I'll message you after the stream. We'll figure it out.
Cool.
It's one of those things where I hate asking those people, like, hey, can I get a key? I'd love to check the game out. And then the game comes out, I'm like, man, Lost Ark is great. I just like don't play it because I get super interested in something else. Anyways, yeah, we'll talk. Zeke, you chose another game for CD Romathon, and I do want to talk about it. Yeah, let's jump to that, and we'll close out the show. What was the game of your choosing here?
The game is called Gex.
Oh, Gex, right.
Yeah.
Blizzard?
The popular PlayStation franchise. That was a place.
Yeah.
Microsoft owns Gex?
Apparently.
No.
I don't know. They own it.
What?
Crystal Dynamics. I don't know. Like, do they own Crystal Dynamics?
Square Enix does now.
Okay.
I wonder who got that IP. Anyways, talk to me about
idea.
Gex. I'll look it
Well,
up.
Gex is a wisecracking gecko with a major attitude. And let me tell you, with his blazing tongue, battering tail, and sharp wit, this outrageous reptile is ready to kill TV and movie rejects in a side-splitting game of awesome intensity.
You're taking
Just
me
to
back
let you know.
Gex. Holy shit.
Wow.
So this game, it came out in 1996. At least it says on the 1995. 95. It says on the box here. And it's for its time and for being a console. I don't want to say it was a port because I think it was released. There's a little bit of back and forth on this. It was released on 3DO, PlayStation, and
3DO.
PC. I think at the same time.
Yeah, so
Not positive about that. But I think it was at the same time.
This is wild to me because I looked up who owns the IP. So the publishers, Zeke, for this game, I'm curious who's on the disc that you have, because the Wikipedia says that Bandai, BMG Interactive, Crave Entertainment, Eidos Interactive, GT Interactive, Interplay, Microsoft Game Studios, Midway Games, and Ubisoft are all different publishers for this game. So who do you have on your disc as the publisher?
Microsoft and Crystal Dynamics.
Did Crystal Dynamics become Eidos Interactive eventually?
I do not know, buddy.
Okay. That's wild to me.
Yeah. Anyway, so this game is a platformer. It's deceptively hard. I did not think it was going to be as difficult as it was, but it is. It's pretty goddamn difficult. It gets especially the level you're seeing right now.
Yeah.
This level took me quite a bit to finish up. Now, there are certain things going against it that make it hard, age-wise. The controls kind of floaty. The jump, it's not like it's like an arc jump. Okay,
that's a good sound effect.
You got to get used to that. The other thing is, the gecko, he slides. The stopping is difficult. If you want to stop before you go off a cliff or something, there's a good amount of you're running, stop, but there we go. Stop, and you go, and you slide, So there's a good amount of that. Momentum, basically. But, you get used to a certain amount of precision. Okay, it's not like Mario slides, that far. It's like a good fucking distance of a slide. So it's a little different. The other thing is the hitboxes for platforms and your gecko are weird. Sometimes your head is always a hitbox, but sometimes your tail isn't, and sometimes it is. Depending on if you're on a wall or on a thing, whatever. The movement though is really cool. The fact that you can stick to most surfaces that have a wide enough surface area, you can stick to. If you can reach them, you can stick to the wall. You can stick to the ceiling. You can crawl underneath and stuff. That's a cool thing. I really enjoyed that. All in all, I really enjoyed the game. The game is great. It's just the quality of life, shit, the advances in mechanics and stuff like that, and the fact that I was playing it on a PC with a D-pad and buttons that I had Joy-Con keyed in there. Because they didn't playing these old games, they have hey, do you want to use your joystick to play this? I'm like, wow, that takes me back. Joystick, it was an actual joystick, like a fucking Atari flight stick thing. That's what you could play games back in the early 90s with.
Yeah,
and they weren't USB. They were
serial.
Yeah. Whatever you plugged in, I remember having plugging in your keyboard and mouse. It was pink and green. Right?
Oh yeah, PS2, PS/2.
They had PS2s. Yeah. They had that kind of stuff.
Dude, back in the day, I had one of those, and the heater was always on in the house most of the time. At least this was always happening during winter, and I had carpet, and the PC sat on the carpet. So when I would plug in the PS2, it would always fucking shock. I fried 2 PCs doing that back in the day. And it was, I would go to a LAN or something. I'd be like, all right, let me touch metal. I'm going to plug this in. Zoom. Fuck. Gotta go to the fuck. I gotta go to Micro Center now. God damn it. And then the LAN became gotta rebuild the PC instead of let's play Quake. Anyway, sorry. That took me back. Fuck those connections. Dude,
it's some of my favorite, those are my favorite things to talk about. And hear stories of people oh my God, I played this you know, when it came out, my neighbor had a fucking 3DO and I played it. Like, it was like, what's a 3DO? You know,
Yeah.
all the nostalgia. I love that shit. And like when I turn on the VM, the virtual machine, because some of them require Windows. You can't play them through DOS or DOSBox or another program.
Yeah.
So like they require like Windows 95 to work. So I have a couple of virtual machines, and hearing the start of that, boom bam, like when you shut it down or when you fire it up, that's just it's that good feeling you get. You're like, oh man,
It's like the PlayStation boot sound for me.
yeah, dude,
Yeah.
takes you back, man.
Or the Sega
Sega
noise.
for me.
Yeah.
But this game was actually fantastic. It's deceptively difficult. It has a lot of cool like secrets and little cubbies and like hidden walls and stuff like that. It has enough of that to keep you kind of like wanting to explore the levels and shit. But these two levels, like the last two levels in particular, were fucking hard, dude. There was like a really difficult platforming section, and something that you didn't have a lot of leading up to this stage was just death pits. More often than not, like you'd fall on a spike pit and lose 1 health. But this, like that static below me, that's all death. That's just one, like you fall down there, you're dead. So that's not something that was used a lot until these levels. So you had to get used to it. And most levels, like crawling upside down, stuff like that. And there's no jump when you crawl upside down unless you jump back into the whatever. But it was a very good game, very challenging. I will say they really overdid the like little quips.
Oh, that doesn't stop. And I mean,
but like
that's
they
Gex.
way over like every single time. Like there's a bonus stage that has conveyor belts, and every time, because it has conveyor belts, but there's a little section in the middle that's not a conveyor. So every time you step off and step back on the conveyor, he says like one of 3 things, and you end up hearing it like 50 times, like Jane Fonda's working out again, or like whatever the fuck, like little quote is like, if I wanted to run in place, I'd blah blah blah, and it's like,
it's some
if I wanted
classic,
to run, and they would fucking get on top of each other. It was awful.
Classic
man.
2022 commentary. Jane Fonda, yeah, very very popular with the kids. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so but take the good with the bad. It's old, which means you can forgive a lot of it. Oh, this is me explaining how that's how the stick 'em. If you're sticking to
a wall,
you don't go you don't crawl around. Your spine is static.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So once you get to the tipping point, you are over that thing. There's no how it would normally be like with a gecko, it'd be like that. You'd like curve all the way around.
Right.
No, you go tip. So that fucking sucked.
Yeah.
And you like 3/4 of your body goes forward, and you just get hit. Like if there's something to be hit there.
Makes sense. Yeah, I remember. This is Gex 1, right? That you're playing here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just Gex.
Gex 3
Not into the gecko
was the one that I remember the most of. It was the deep cover gecko that had all the James Bond commentary back in the day on the PS1. Anyways, that was in '99.
And someone told me it was on Twitter. Business, a friend of mine said,
yeah,
I actually asked Dana Gould if he'd be willing, like on Twitter, to do like the voice of Gex again, and he said he would. I'm like, hey, let's go. I played new fucking Gex.
That company is still around. Crystal Dynamics got bought by Eidos.
Yeah,
Eidos was bought by Square Enix, and I mean, hell, Crystal Dynamics are an offshoot of them. Help make Marvel.
Yeah, they made Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh shit! Okay.
No.
Oh, they did make Guardians of the
That
Galaxy.
was Eidos Montreal.
Oh,
very different. Okay. Very different.
Wait, then what did Crystal Dynamics made? Marvel's Avengers.
God, they had a split off. They had a split off company, an offshoot. I think it's called Crystal Northwest or something, and they assisted in making Marvel Avengers.
So then Crystal's
Tomb Raider 2.
Tomb Raider, that's what they're known for. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Wild. It's the old '90s video game IP fuckery. Is all that is. Where it just gets. It's a giant mess. It's a giant. mess.
Yeah.
That's Gex.
And listening to like the references that Gex makes, like about like, yeah, watching too much Full House. I'm like, oh my God, right.
Oh, wow.
Everybody watched Full House.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
rest in peace, Bob.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
R.I.P.
dude.
Bob, for sure. Man, a lot of celebrity death this past week. Louis Anderson, just
Fucking Meatloaf.
yeah, Meatloaf, just a crazy amount of celebrity death. Wild. And now we're going to end the show. There's no way to segue out of that. Zeke, what do you got coming up?
What do I got coming up? Well, let me do my shout outs here. My name is Ezekiel the Third. You can find me at or / Ezekiel _III on most of the platforms. Go give me a follow. All the links. Thank you, C-Line, for all the links in my chat. If you want to check me out, first of all, let me thank you. Thank you, Co. Thank you, JP.
Very heartfelt, that. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Always. Well, I just want to remember it. I don't want to ever forget to thank you guys.
I know. I'm just being
Sometimes it's going to be less sincere than other times. Okay, JP? 300 times I've thanked you, assholes.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like, a fucking meet cute every time. All right, bud?
I know. I got it. I've never thanked you once.
Wow. Disrespect.
You never thank me. Okay, anyways. Yeah, thanks, JP. Thanks, Co, for being co-host. I will be live tomorrow, or not tomorrow, excuse me. Tomorrow's my day off. So this is the beginning of my weekend, my 1.5 day weekend. I will be back on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific, finishing up King's Quest 6. I like it enough, and I think I'm close enough that I can finish it up at least in one stream. I'm not sure how much longer, because, point and click games, you're just going to get fucking stuck, and maybe it takes you an hour. So I can't promise that I'll finish it, but I will definitely try. But come hell or high water, we will switch games at least by Wednesday, and that will be whatever I have chosen. And I'm not sure what that's going to be yet. Probably some FMV game, I'd imagine. But yeah, so that's what's coming up. CD-ROM-Thumb goes until the 30th or the 29th, because 29th will be the last day of CD-ROM-Thumb. So we got five awesome days left. You join me 10 a.m. Pacific. That's it. Bye.
Awesome. Go. Do some shout outs.
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Ko. Nice to meet you as always. Thanks to JP and Zeke. Fun show this week. Coming up on my channel, you're going to see Expedition Rome, more Project Zomboid. We're going to be starting up Elix possibly as early as tomorrow. Maybe Shadow Warrior 1 and 2 we can sneak in before Dying Light 2, starting at 6 p.m. on February 2nd. We've got a lot of games in February. Lost Ark, Seafood, Dying Light 2, Horizon, probably some Total War 3, maybe a dabble in PoE. Then Elden Ring to finish it off as we go into March for Elix 2, Weird West, and lots of other stuff then. So I hope you guys are ready after February. It's going to be nuts. As a quick reminder, I've also started up a new YouTube channel, youtube.com/codaily. It is 20 to 30-minute highlight reels of my everyday streams. So they are going up every day. If you want to stay caught up, great way to do it at Codaily. And I think that's about it. So I will see you guys next week.
Awesome stuff. In terms of what's going on for me, tomorrow we got more MCU crew. We're watching X-Men 2. The latest, greatest Marvel movie. That's right. X-Men 2, starring Hugh Jackman and Halle Berry. I don't know why we're doing that. But we'll be talking about it tomorrow morning. If you want to join us, that's at 1 p.m. Eastern. I'm also jumping back into Dying Light 1 co-op with Sips. It's both our first playthrough, and we're having a grand old time blowing each other up with grenades. If you want to come join us, that'll start, I think, at 11 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. Then probably just more League as we make way for February with everyone else getting ready for all the big releases. I think next Saturday will probably be Community Day on the stream, so another hour of Final Fantasy. Another hour of Resident Evil 7 VR. Whatever the Community Day game is, you guys choose in Discord. And then, of course, matching subs and checking out everyone's collection, statues, whatever, vinyl, etc. If you want more information, that's on the Discord over at our channel if you want to join us. So that's that. That's what we got going on for all of us. We'll be back next week. We'll talk probably a lot about February. Probably bring on a guest as well. I haven't talked to Max in a while. You guys want to talk to Max, that old gassy Mexican?
Sure.
I was hoping he'd say no, so I didn't actually have to invite him.
No, I was going to say not really, but it would be cool to talk to someone on Late Shift about that big eco event.
Yeah. They just wrapped up their.
We could bring Burke on.
Yeah,
you could,
Oh yeah, we could do Burke as well. It's not Max.
Has Burke ever been on the show? I don't even know if Burke's ever been on the show.
We've had a bit early for him, I think, right?
Yeah,
Burke usually logs off like at 8 a.m. So he's generally sleeping by now.
Yeah, that's true. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what.
We're on Sips. Talk about Dying Light.
Sips is he has like strict dad times, and this is prime
I get
dad
it.
time for him.
I get it. Okay, we're
Yeah,
good.
he is it. The clock strikes noon and he's done. He quits Dota. That's how important dad time is. He's on that Dota life.
Understood.
So that's it. Thanks everyone for watching the old drop. Oh, I actually forgot to mention, and this is this is information for you as well. Unbeknownst to me, one of the devs on the team, Jack, started putting JPN in as a audio podcast. So whenever we do
cool.
that, that's on iTunes and
I can
Spotify.
like listen to that in my car now easily.
That's what he tells me. I don't know how to verify this stuff. It just happened. We started doing it. So
yeah, give me the details of that.
Yeah. I think it's on Spotify, iTunes, wherever podcasts are available. So we did a big show on this past Wednesday with Rami talking about all the Activision stuff. So probably bring on some more guests. Maybe one of you will join us as a goof reporter. I don't know. The show's evolving. We're figuring it out. We're out of here though. Thanks everyone for watching.
Adult Entertainment Expo correspondent.
Yeah, real stupid things like that. I'm into it. I'm on board.
Who would go to those?
I'm not going to make any other comments. We'll send them to Italy. Big reporters out there right now.
I have that pulled up. I'm waiting desperately for you to shut the show down.
We got to go. Bye. See you next week.